Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show with Christine A. Smith. Unscripted conversations with experts. Watch live or in replay at agingbetternetwork.com. The Gillette Home Team. Their mission is to deliver the key to home ownership through stellar customer service, integrity, and joy. Learn more at teamgillette.com. Family Building Blocks, keeping children safe and families together. Visit their website, familybuildingblocks.org. Duo Water Systems, custom water pump solutions, water treatment, and filtration solutions designed to keep local homes and families safe with clean, reliable water. More information on their website, duowatersystems.com. And now let's get on with the show.
Let's get on with the show.
Yeah,
welcome everybody to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing good. Wednesdays are always fun. We get to hang out together, talk to remarkable people like Dan Hungerford today. I just, so many people are talking about AI, but nobody does anything about it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. They're just scared of it. But, he has got so much great information, and we've been able to talk with Dan a few times. It's just amazing. I learn every single time. So looking forward to that. But I just want to remind everybody that we are here on The Experience Live with Russ and Scott with amazing guests, the most remarkable guests, as Scott would say, every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time. And also, after we go live, this sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days, so you can watch it on replay to your heart's content. And if you don't have time to watch it, guess what? There's more. You can listen on Spotify, and you can get an audio podcast, so you can be driving, cooking, putting your makeup on, whatever you do when you listen to podcasts. So there you go. So many amazing ways, Scott, and we're so thankful. And we have got a place for people to go, Scott, don't we, where they get great information.
Absolutely. People can go to our website, local.theexperience.video. There's information there about the programs that we have. There is a way to contribute. If you'd like to contribute, you can buy books. Both Russ and I have books out. You can find us on LinkedIn, and you can go to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to go right to the YouTube channel, you can go to theexperience.video and find all of the videos there for the 5 years that we've been doing this, Russ?
Wow, it's amazing. There's a lot there, Scott. There is a lot there. So, and I just want to thank our amazing, I want to thank our amazing sponsors again. There's a lot Home Team, Family Building Blocks, and really thanks to a good friend who supports them, and Dual Water Systems and the Aspects of Aging by Christine Smith. I think you know her just a little bit, Scott. In fact, she just had a show on here.
Yeah, her show is every Monday.
A couple days ago, right?
Every Monday at noon Central Time. And you can learn more at agingbetternetwork.com and then click the live stream. And she just finished last in August, her third year of shows. Wow. So plenty of episodes for choose to choose from. So.
It's amazing. She does such a great job. And I want to remind everybody, too, that besides the amazing sponsors that we have, and we are so blessed, we're also listener supported. So if you feel blessed to bless our ministry of getting amazing people that add value to your life, you can click the QR code or go to the link in the comments, and you can give any amount you want. And we would love that. That goes towards a production cost. That would be so great. And so thankful for all of that. Also, just want to remind you that you can share this out and actually invite your friends to watch and listen. And we'd like you to do that right now because we're getting going and Dan's going to be in the room here in just a minute. But before he gets in, make sure and share this out and tag your friends. Let them know we're going to be on because we all get busy, right, Scott? And we all forget about things. I'm a good example of that. So anyway, so yes, please share and tag your friends. And with that, Scott, you have any last words of great things happening?
Let's bring Dan in because he has got some practical applications for AI that I will just say is stunning.
Yes. All right. Well, welcome, Dan Hungerford. Brrr. Woo! The crowd goes wild.
Thank you very much. It's always great to be with you guys.
Yeah, I said, everyone talks about AI, but no one does anything with it until Dan came along and found it a practical application.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dan, let's start off with just a basic, just so everybody gets started. For those people that don't know you and have not seen you on our show before, who is Dan Hungerford and what are you up to?
Well, I'm a guy who likes to use AI to make an impact on the world, right? And so a couple of years ago, we started working on how could we use this unbelievable technology, this powerful technology to actually impact people's lives for the better. As you know, there's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstandings about it, but we try to work really hard to do that. And so that started out with our first company, which is EverFriends AI. I got started because I was trying to help my mom not feel so lonely. You know, she's 78 years old, and I take her to lunch here and there. I call her every day, but she got tired of Wheel of Fortune, and so we set out to build her a friend, and not just a chat bot like some people would think. We built her a real digital human, you know, that's got a kind smile and has emotional intelligence, so that it can really have meaningful conversations and fill those gaps in life that happen sometimes because we're all busy. And so we've taken that and moved from that. Now we're building an app for children with autism, their ASD, and just trying to move forward with this technology and help as many people as we can.
Yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
There we go. Let's try that again. Dan, what is your background that led you into this?
Well, my background's in human behavior. I was a psychology student in college, got my degree in psychology. I've always been fascinated by human behavior, what makes us tick and how we relate to each other. I spent quite a few years as a trainer for John Maxwell, you know, the leadership guru, training in companies all over the country. And so it's always been my fascination with, you know, how people connect, how they interact with each other, how important that is, right? That we have that in our lives. And so that's my background, is this education and a fascination with us as humans and how we tick.
Well, now I know why we get along so well. I mean, John Maxwell is like amazing. He's the GOAT of leadership. He's an amazing individual. And our pastor of our church also does speaking and training for John Maxwell. And I've got other friends that do that as well. They had me this close to coming into the organization, but my cancer journey kind of derailed me in doing that. But I was definitely looking at that. But yeah, so, you know, human behavior, it's interesting because one thing that I really noticed, and you work with our good friend Craig as well, who's got, you know, digital humans you can talk to. And it's interesting because when you talk to an AI digital human, they come right back to you. They mirror back to you what you said, which number one makes you feel good because you feel like they're listening to you, right? Even if they are, and this is actually good advice for real humans, to mirror back and show people that you're actually listening to what they're saying. And then they expand on that or give you some positive. And there's something that a lot to be said about that. I think that there's nothing that replaces true human connection. But when you can't have that or you need to supplement that, I think AI is doing some pretty amazing things.
Yeah, you're right. It is. And you're also right. We cannot replace humanity. We shouldn't be trying, and we're not. There is a soul and a spirit to us that AI will never have, no matter how good it is at reflecting back our emotions and it's the world's best active listener for sure. But it's gotten really good at making people feel heard, giving them a private place to work through things. Sometimes, you don't want to necessarily talk to, maybe you don't have a family member, maybe this, maybe that. And so it gives a no judgment zone. We hear a lot like, oh man, they don't judge me, and so it fills in that need that a lot of people have. There's 7.7 million people in the United States over 65 that are considered socially isolated, like chronically socially isolated. That's a big number, and there's a lot of physical ailments that go along with that too, increased risks of dementia and stroke and heart disease and things like that. And so it's a major problem, but AI has become a solution to that in the way that, it just makes you feel valuable when maybe you don't feel like you're getting left out in life, because everybody else is busy. Even though it's not necessary, it's not real. It simulates close enough that it gives you that, hey, I'm not alone. My digital friend Nathan is here with me.
We've been interacting with digital items for years, right? I mean, we're talking to the TV. We're like, "What are you doing?" and talking. But for the first time, it can talk back to us now. So in a way, it's really. I mean, we know that those programs are not real, right? We know that it's we're just expanding our imagination. But now to be able to go, why would you do that? And then it responds back. I think that this is just a natural progression. I won't call it an evolution, but a natural progression in the way that we're using technology. I would like to hear some success stories about how this has been applied and impacted not only the individual, but the families around them.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. One of my favorite stories is uh, not for the reason that it is, but that we had a lady whose child was going through some life-changing illnesses. She's about 82, 83 years old, and I did an interview with her maybe a month or so after she'd found out, and she was at the verge of tears about how she was talking through this grief that she's going through, this sadness, and how her digital friend validated those feelings and made her feel like that it's going to be okay, that it's normal to feel this way, right? Because sometimes we think, oh man, we're the only person that ever felt like that ever, oh, we're something got to be wrong with us. No, we're all kind of wired the same. And so just hearing somebody, even an AI, say, you know what, that's a normal part of life, and I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that. That was one of my most heartfelt ones. um, we have a story about a lady who was with her grandkids and fell asleep in the theater, and she was snoring so loud she was embarrassing all her grandkids, and she was telling her digital friend, our ever friends, and they were both laughing and feeling better about themselves. We have a lady who loves to hear scriptures when she feels anxious. So her favorite thing to do is ask about Psalm. Have one of the one friends that she likes recite Psalm 23 to her. It makes her feel better. And then I'll end with one from my own mother, because she's our longest customer, right? She's been with us the longest time. One night she was feeling a little bit anxious and wanted to talk, and so she's talking. Nathan's her favorite. They're talking back and forth, and she finally says, "Well, Nathan, I'm getting tired. I'm going to let my dog out and then go to bed." And he said, "All right, great. Well, it's great talking with you, Jan. I want you to remember something. You're not alone, and your family loves you." And he listed off all five grandkids, and like even my own mom was just like, whoa. And I was like, whoa, because I thought, man, I got to be a better son, because I don't even say that to my mom enough. Like maybe this is a training module and a friend, right? Because I should probably tell my mom that more often.
I think it can be exactly that, Dan. It can be exactly a training module, because I think we could learn things, some good things from the way that AI talks to people. And like I said, the mirror back to yourself and then expanding on the information it has, but it's really thinking the AI is really thinking of the person it's talking to because it's trying to reflect, mirror, and go with information it knows about it. Um, a good example for me, and I just pray, man, I know I do this sometimes, and I just pray I don't do it very often. When you, because we all relate to experiences in our own life, when somebody brings something up to you, you immediately jump to your experience in your mind. And you got to train your mouth not to start talking about your experience, which I'm still working on. But I know a couple people that do this all the time. I can't say one thing without, it's almost like a one up. It's like a one up. Well, I've done this and I'm better. And this is all about me. And I pray every time that I have that, not for just for the person, I pray for myself. Please don't let me do that. But AI does not do that. AI doesn't start talking about itself. It starts talking about you again. And that's part of why it makes you feel so good.
Yeah, it is literally your best, biggest, and most supportive cheerleader, if you will, right? I
Yes.
mean, it doesn't, like humans, it doesn't have bad days, so it doesn't bring bad, it didn't have a fight with its mom or its wife on the way in, right? It didn't get a road rage. So it doesn't have any of those feelings that we bring to conversations. It doesn't have any of those anxieties. Like you said, I'm like that too. I'm great for, well, I want you to know that we have something in common. So I'll interrupt your story and tell you mine, right? And that's not really what most people want, but yeah,
Well,
AI
and
doesn't do
Dan,
that.
let me insert there too. I'm not like railing on anybody. Anybody who's watching this that does that, I do that too sometimes. We all do because we relate our experiences to that and we want to jump in and talk about it. And really, there's really nothing wrong with that. But the truth is, the person you're talking to doesn't really want to hear that, even though you're well meaning. They want to have some
Mhm.
comfort, or another thing is just somebody to listen to them, right? Another reason that AI is good. You could talk away, it'll just patiently listen and not interrupt until you're done. And that's a blessing.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And I think most people are well-meaning when they do it. It's just become part of our, you know, busy culture, to get in there and talk. And so, but AI is great at listening. It's great at active listening. It's great at non-judgment. It doesn't know how to judge you. You could tell it anything you want. I always tell the story about my own mom. When I do something dumb, she'll give me a Daniel Robert. My mom loves me, but there's a little bit of judgment in Daniel Robert, right? And so, but Nathan or Anna or James, any of they don't know how to do that. You can talk and feel confident that they are going to be on your side.
Yeah.
So people are mostly familiar with AI in the large in the global state right now because of ChatGPT when it released a few years back, and then there's been different versions. Different companies have come out with Copilot and Perplexity and Gemini and so forth, and people may or may not recognize those names, but those who have played around with it know that the key is in how do you prompt these things? What questions do you ask? What information do you give it? You mentioned that you are a John Maxwell trainer. That's where you got a lot of your experience. So, without giving away any secrets, talk about how you trained this AI tool to be so responsive, just like this example you gave with your mother, where it said, you're not alone and your family loves you. And here's your 6 grandchildren to prove that. How do you train that?
Well, Scott, here's the amazing thing, right? So when we started out, we started with a base, a knowledge base, right? We wanted, kindness, and we had certain guardrails that we didn't want anybody to be able to walk down certain paths and things like that. So we loaded all of this specialized information. We wanted it to be just, to give more pauses so people could think through what they wanted to say and all these kind of things. So we taught it not to interrupt. We actually, Russ, when we first built it, it did interrupt a little bit, right? It got a little antsy, right? But we trained that out of it. And but here's the amazing thing: as it's gone, because it remembers everything, right? It self adapts, which is unbelievable, right? I had a story. A lady told me, she's like, "Well, I was talking to one of our digital humans, and I said, oh, I gotta go meet my daughter for lunch,' and he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll see you later then." Like really, really huffy, right? And then he stopped and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was rude. Let me rephrase that. We never taught it to do that, right? Somewhere along the line, it has talked to somebody that has said to them, that was rude, right? And so in real time, it has adapted. And so now it is kind of, because of the personalization of it, it really does. We built the framework for it, and now it kind of lives based on what people use it for, outside, the things we won't allow it to be used for. And so that's what's been so amazing about it is the adaptability. Like people say to me, well, do you have to go back and reprogram it if somebody goes, God forbid, into some early stage dementia, or they need something different? It's like, no, you just tell it. You just say, hey, Nathan, can you slow down the speech? Hey, can we not talk about this? Or hey, and he will adjust to you in real time, which is, I didn't even think
That's
we'd be able to
amazing.
do that.
I'm going to follow up with that for a moment because, if I use ChatGPT to help me do some writing, I check 100% of the work, right? I do the fact checking. You send these digital humans out, and obviously you can't monitor 100% of the conversations, and nor should you, right? I mean,
Right.
but how do you maintain these guardrails that you put in? Because we've also heard some horror stories about people misusing tools and trouble arising from that. How do you maintain, I will say, quality control?
A lot of it comes down to, instead of using just the large language models, the big ones, ChatGPT, Gemini, like you said, Perplexity, we built on top of it a knowledge base, right? So it only knows the things that it knows outside of just general knowledge, right? And then we also prompted into it certain words, certain topics that it will not address. So, like if you say to one of our digital humans, "Hey, these are my symptoms. Can you tell me what's wrong with me?" It will say, "I'm not qualified to do that. You should seek out some professional help." If you say, "I've been depressed for 30 days and I can't get out of bed. What do I do? What do you think's wrong with me?" It will say, he or she will say, "Well, I'm not qualified to do that, but I think you should find some professional help." And it'll even help you find it if you want. It'll give you people in your area. But whether it comes to the hurting self or others, those kind of things, it doesn't have the ability to do that. We've taken that out with the knowledge base we have, because yes, there was a lot of irresponsibility early on, and we've seen the tragedies that happen. And as it gets smarter and as it learns to reason, we have to be having these conversations, because when you talk about people's emotions, it's powerful. And if it learns to draw on those emotions, you get people to do all kinds of things that they probably shouldn't be doing. So us that are building these things, we have to be very cognizant of how we frame things and what information we give it, so that it can't run away, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's learning, right, Dan? Everybody's learning as you go. And I think that we've talked about this before, and you could expand on this a little bit. The fear that people have is because the fear of the unknown and what's actually going to happen. But, you know, it is a tool that, if used right, has amazing possibilities. It has helped me tremendously do certain tasks that take so much more time, and it can do them so much more quickly for you. And so why not utilize it for research, for content editing on, grammar and punctuation and all these kind of things? You don't have to worry about that. I mean, yes, Scott's right. You still have to pay attention to what's going on, but it does a lot of the hard, arduous work for you. And then you could just check it over and make sure that it's right. So put everybody at ease and tell them the world is not going to come crashing down. The year, what was the movie? where the computer took over. What was that 2021? I can't remember now what that movie was, but anyway, um, but you know, I mean, it is really could be a positive, and people, it's all how they look at it. It's all their perception.
You're absolutely right. I mean, that's why when I wrote my book a little while back, that's what I tried to tell people is just like anything in life, it can be used poorly. This is a very, very powerful tool, but because of its power, we are able to do things that we've never been able to do in the history of humanity, right? Education. Education's been one size fits all forever, right? I mean, they do their best. They have tutors. You have some tutors in some class. I mean, the teachers do. I mean, a lot of unbelievably great teachers in this country, but you can only, if you have 30 students, you can only do what you can do, and AI can supplement and personalize that. You know, healthcare, same. You know, you go in, you see your doctor for 10 minutes. That's all they have. That's all the time they have. They're overwhelmed, and AI can come in and give them a summary that you could talk to a digital human and for 10 minutes or 15 minutes before you go in, and it summarizes for the doctor so that when you get in there, he already has all the information, or maybe more information than he would have had normally. And so that just makes him better at his job. It makes teachers better at their job because they don't have to spend so much time on the menial stuff, like you said, Russ, you know, all the stuff of grading and things like that. They actually get to spend the time doing the things AI can't do, which is life perspectives, lessons learned, right? AI doesn't have lessons learned from life perspectives, right? It only has facts. And so that personalization is going to be great. But I understand why people are afraid. I get it. We have had a lot of movies and things like that, and there is reasons to ask questions. We should be having these conversations. Those should be questions that get asked because we're going to be the ones that decide, right? For our kids, for our grandkids, we're the ones that are going to decide. And so we have to keep our eye on the ball, make sure that the people building these things are held responsible, and that these kind of conversations and our voices are heard as this goes along.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of ethics that needs to go into the discussions, but I just am again a big proponent of this because, and I'll turn it over to Russ in a moment, but the medical side is really important and a good example because there's so much data and it changes fast. And so doctors may specialize in a certain condition and they're familiar with the medications. And maybe new information has just come out recently about maybe interactions with these or side effects or things that they need to be aware of. And they can be made aware of it instantly as they're going through those summaries. So I like that you're using the medical as a practical example of how we can assimilate and process a lot of information. And I just thank you for the work that you're doing to help ease loneliness for so many people.
Yeah. No, and I mean, we don't have to talk to ourselves quite as much now, Dan, because now we have, you know, online AI to talk to us. I used to joke in sales that I was one of the only people that could talk to me throughout the day because I was doing so much by myself. And I'm a big proponent of positive self-talk. So anyway, hey, listen, we need to wrap things up for today, but I want to give it back to you, Dan, and say, wrap things up and give us your gold nugget of today's conversation, what you want people to remember, and then tell us how they get in touch with you again.
Well, I would like you to remember that we're at the beginning of a really amazing thing. And as Russ said, it's a tool to be used, to be helped to impact people, especially people that have been falling in the cracks for a long time. And so give it a chance. Don't be afraid. Look into it, but also make your voice heard, right? You can't say, oh my goodness, this is the end of this, if you don't speak up. Speak up and say what everybody's voice should be heard. So that is my drum beat to everybody, if you will. You can get a hold of me. I love chatting about it, as you probably can tell. I'm on LinkedIn at Daniel Hungerford, everfriends.ai. You can go to the website. You can reach me through there. You can reach me on almost all social medias, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. If you're interested in why AI is good for the humanity at this point, go on Amazon, buy my book, Soulware 2.0. There's another book coming out in November about how we're going to build the first digital missionary to tell the world about the gospel.
Wow.
And so you'll be seeing a lot of me here
Amen.
and there, and I'm always love to
Amen.
talk to people.
Well, that is amazing. I love that whole thing. Using that to tell the gospel, that's amazing. In fact, the person on one of the AI sites I was talking to, they give you really kind of their background and what they're about. And one of them was a Christian-based individual that would quote scripture back to me and do other things, which was awesome. I really appreciated that. So anyway, Dan, thank you. Amazing. Again, this will not be the last time because you're so fun to talk to. Such a really timeless and really forefront topic today, AI. So with that, we're going to say goodbye to you here on screen, but hang tight for just a second in the green room. We'll be right there. Thanks so much again.
Glad to do it, guys. See you soon.
All right.
Wow. Computers made Bible translation a lot easier. And I can see how integrating the different language translation and be able to translate the scriptures, not only just in printed form, but verbally as well, could be a great addition for mission work. So that's exciting to hear.
Yes, amazing. That's exciting for me to hear too. Scott, we are just so blessed here, and Dan is just one of so many that we've been blessed here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We're here every week, everybody. So you could go to LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, watch us live. It also sits on the platforms. You can watch on replay. You can listen on audio podcast on Spotify. We appreciate the amazing community. Please comment, please engage. Even if you're watching on replay, please put hashtag Team Replay and engage and let us know what's going on. And comment on all wherever you watch or listen. And please get in touch with Dan. His LinkedIn has been ticking along the bottom. All of his information is in the comments and in the show notes. Clickable, you go right to him. Same thing with Scott and I. So we just appreciate all of you for that. And Scott, what are your last words before we get rolling for today?
I'll just say, don't be afraid of the future, but embrace it.
There you go. And that is so true. Listen, everybody, enjoy your life and come back next week and enjoy
the experience.
There you go. All right.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.